In this session, we are going to discuss about geographic information systems, that is GIS and mapping. First, we'll be discussing about GIS, and next in the next session, we'll be discussing about mapping. GIS stands for Geographic Information System, which is a computer-based system mainly designed for capturing, storing, analyzing, updating, manipulating, and displaying spatial or geographical data. So it is a computer-based system in which we can capture the data from the GPS, store the data. After storing the data, we can analyze the data anytime, and we can update the data. We can also perform manipulations to the data, and then it will display geographical data. GPS can be viewed from three perspectives, that is map, data, and spatial analysis. First one, map view. The map view focuses on the ability to create and present information in a cartographic manner. So here in this, will represent the data received in the form of the maps. Cartographic manner is representing the data in the form of maps. So by representing the data in maps, it enables the presentation of information in a visual manner, and it can assist in building user knowledge. So by representing the received data in the form of maps, we are representing in the form of a visual manner, which can be helpful for the user to gain knowledge. Next one. Second one is data. Data is an important component of the GIS. In GIS, data is very much important. So the GIS gives people in these organizations graphical representations of data that allows them to analyze situations, write reports, track changes, make decisions, plan for the future. So the GIS data is mainly represented in the graphical form, which allows the users to analyze the situations, write the reports on the situations, and it will also track the changes, and it will make decisions and plan for the future implementation. GIS requires four things. First one is people. People who use GIS are professionals who have been educated to use GIS and have made a career out of working with GIS. So first we require people who are educated to use GIS and made GIS as a career for working. So we'll consider the people who are having the knowledge of GIS. Next, data. Data is one of the important component in the GIS. So data, geospatial information, that is where the things are located in the form of latitude and longitudinal from GPS, and the details of objects such as services, roads, buildings, etc. are collected and entered into GIS software. Next requirement for GIS is data. So here the geospatial information, that is the data in the form of latitudes and longitudes, which is received from the GPS, such as services, roads, building, etc. are collected, and that data is entered into the GIS software. So we are collecting the data from GPS and we are entering it into the GIS software. Next, software. Here the software, GIS software analyzes the data and presents it in the different combinations for the user. So whatever the data received from the GPS, here in the GIS software, it will analyze the data and present it to the users in different combinations. Next, last thing is hardware. Hardware includes handheld devices for collecting data and computers with GIS software. So in the hardware allows handheld devices for collecting the data and computers with GIS software. So we are having the devices which is used for collecting the data and computers with GIS software. So we are having handheld devices which will collect the data, and it is also having the GIS software. So we have total 4 requirements for GIS. First one is people. People who are having the knowledge on GIS. Next, data. The data from the GPS receivers which is in the form of latitudinal or longitudinal data, is sent to the GIS software. Here the GIS software will analyze the data and it will represent it in different combinations for the user. Next we have hardware. All this equipment is in the form of a handheld devices for collecting the data and computers with GIS software. Next, data contained in a GIS system is stored in sets of data called data sets in a database. So the data in GIS is stored as data sets in a database. Next, there are two different components of data stored in GIS. We have two different components of data stored in GIS. First one is a descriptive component describing the feature, that is length of the road, height of the tree, etc. So the data in the GIS is represented in two forms. First one is descriptive component. In descriptive component, we are representing the data as length of the road, height of the tree, etc. Next, component which defines location of a spatial component such as points, lines, areas. Here points will describe the discrete features, that is tree, building, traffic signs. Lines, connected locations, that is roads and rivers. Next, areas which have length and width, that is lakes, perimeter of building, etc. So we are representing data in two components, descriptive component and spatial component. Next, the power of GIS lies in its ability to identify relationships between features based on their locations and their attributes. So here the GIS has the ability to identify relation between features based on their locations and their attributes. So this allows one to view these relationships in form of maps, charts, tabular forms, etc. So we will represent the available data of the feature locations and their attributes in the form of maps, charts, tabular forms, etc. Next, GIS has the ability to create different layers of data. So we'll create the data in different layers. For example, one can create layers for roads, traffic, signs, accidents, buildings, water lines, etc. So first we are creating the data layer for roads, traffic signs, accidents, buildings, water lines, etc. After creating these layers, we are superimposing different layers and analyzing the relation between various features and their attributes. Let's see about it in the next example. So here, if one wants to repair a pothole, one can quickly turn on the layer for potholes. So one will check for the data related to the potholes, roads and water lines and determine if repairing the pothole would involve digging the road under which a water line is running. So what we do is first we'll create the different layers of data. For example, we'll create the data for roads, water, potholes, etc. From the data, we'll check whether for how to repair the pothole, whether it is required to dig the road or not. We'll check from that data. So that is how we can use different layers of data in GIS. Next. In order to analyze the data, one requires relevant and current information which can be obtained from various sources. So for analyzing the data, we need to consider the relevant data and current information which is obtained from different sources. We'll analyze the data which is obtained from different sources. Suppose the data can be obtained from existing sources like population, census, roads, etc. So that various sources are like example from population, census, roads, etc. We get the data from. Next. However, other data specific to a project may not be readily available and may have to be collected for a specific project with GPS. Suppose if the data is not sufficient to a project, we need to collect the data from specific project with GPS. So once the data is collected from the GPS, it can be transferred to the GIS system. Suppose if the data stored in GIS system is not sufficient, then we'll go for the data which is collected from the GPS, and the data collected from the GPS will be transferred to the GIS system. So this data will have spatial location as well as feature attribute data attached to it. So the data from the GPS will have spatial locations as well as spatial locations is what we are providing the information in form of latitudes and longitudes, as well as feature attribute data attached to it. Next, integration of GPS and GIS technology. If we are integrating GPS with GIS technology, we can improve the features. So let's see, by integrating GPS and GIS technology, what we have. So as we all know that GPS is a powerful tool for providing unique position of a specific feature. We all know that GPS is used to provide position of a specific feature. So from this information, we can navigate back to it. Next. However, one cannot relate this feature position to any other feature position unless one is standing at the side and other features are visible. So we cannot relate this feature position to any other feature position unless if we are standing at one position and where remaining features are visible to us. So mainly why we are using GPS? For navigation purpose, to provide unique position of a specific feature where the data is not relatable to any other data. Next, what is GIS? GIS provides great analysis capability, but to achieve that one needs plenty of good data. So what does GIS perform? It captures the data, stores the data, manipulates, and then finally it will represent the data in the form of maps. So all this can be done if it is having a good plenty of data to represent it in the form of maps. Some data is available, but a lot of other data needs to be, suppose some data will be available, but lot of other data needs to be collected. So here it will collect the other data from the GPS. So combining the GPS data with GIS allows for greater capabilities than what GPS and GIS can provide individually. So by combining this data of GPS and GIS, it can provide greater capabilities. Where GPS will provide only the position of a particular feature, but whereas GIS will analyze that data and it will also perform manipulations, and then it will provide the accurate position on the map. So by integrating these two, we can achieve greater capabilities. So with the combination of two technologies, one is able to display field or actual site on a PC and make informed decisions. So for combining these two technologies, one is able to display field actual site on the PC, where the informed decisions can be informed there. So there is no need to make specific site visits or review several documents or drawings. So we have a field actual site on a PC where all the data related will be visible. No need to search for any other documents or drawings, where the entire data will be stored in field actual site on the PC. Also, another benefit of the integration is the fact that data can be shared by unlimited users in various departments for their own specific needs and analysis. Also, it has a feature of sharing the data to the unlimited users. You can share the data to unlimited users where any user can use the data based on their own specific needs and analysis. Next, another important advance in this technology has been the introduction of a software, which allows bringing into GIS not only GPS position information, but a digital picture. Another important advancement in this technology is by combining GPS and GIS is GPS will give the data in the form of digital format. But by integrating GPS and GIS technology, we get a digital picture. So with this software, one can study relationships between features, but also view actual photographs of the features right on your PC. So by integrating this, one can study relationships between features, but also view actual photographs of their features right on your PC. So by integrating GPS and GIS, GPS gives only the position, but by using GIS, we'll get it in the form of a picture format. This is about GIS technology. Next, we'll be discussing about mapping in the next session. Thank you.